Hello, good morning. It's a great honor and privilege to be here this morning in South Africa, in Cape Town, amongst our key stakeholders at the freight forwarders of the world. My name, as the MC presented a few minutes ago, my name is Ahmed Al-Hakbani. I'm the governor of Saudi Customs. Just to give you a brief about Saudi Customs, we're a 10,000 employee organization, and we operate in 35 ports. We bring to the economy, to the country, more than about $5 billion US worth of custom duties. And also, in addition to that, we do also collect VAT and excise taxes. So it's a great honor again to be here, and thank you so much for FIATA for allowing us to be part of this great event. So I'll be talking about three main topics this morning. The first topic is about Saudi Arabia and the transformation that is taking place in Saudi Arabia. The second point is a bit more detail about logistics and what's happening in logistics in Saudi Arabia and what the plans are and what we have achieved in the past couple of years. And last but not least, how we can work together, how we can ensure that it's a jointly win-win situation for Saudi Arabia as a nation and also our partners in the logistics area. So Saudi Arabia has been established or reunified about 89 years ago. Last week we celebrated our 89th anniversary. But as the Arabian Peninsula has been home for many ancient civilizations in the past centuries. The Arabian Peninsula also hosted the birthplace of Islam and the two holiest cities in the Islam faith, Mecca and Medina. But what's interesting here, the Arabian Peninsula historically has been a platform for trade between the Levant and Yemen. So we are in the process of creating and leveraging the unique position of Saudi Arabia and also enabling trade amongst the neighboring countries. In the 1960s, Saudi Arabia has grown to a prominence in the world energy field. Wealth accumulation has started and poured back into the economy in infrastructure, be it roads, be it seaports, be it airports. In the past 25 years, an average growth rate of 4% is remarkable in any definition. I think what's the main driver for the growth the past 25 years has been primarily oil exports. And I think Saudi Arabia has tried in the past 45 years across 9 development strategies to diversify away from oil with very limited success. Therefore, we needed to have a shock to the system. In 2016, His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman announced Vision 2030. This is for us the guiding principle for any transformation that is taking place in Saudi Arabia. The Vision 2030 focuses on 3 strategic pillars. The first pillar is leveraging Saudi Arabia's position at the heart of the Arab and Muslim worlds. Number 2, leverage the wealth accumulation that took place in the past 30 years to leverage the Saudi position as an investment powerhouse. Third strategic pillar is leverage our strategic location, geographical location, and use that to the benefit of Saudi Arabia and the world. Just to give you a quick brief of some of the mega projects and giga projects in Saudi Arabia. The first is NEOM. It's a big development in the northern part of Saudi Arabia. It's a futuristic entity or futuristic development that covers 26,000 square kilometers. based on renewable energy, technology, and a truly different lifestyle. Red Sea Development Company focuses on the development of a lot of islands in the Red Sea, leveraging the unique diving locations in the Red Sea and also the pristine shores of Saudi Arabia. Qiddiya is a big entertainment city that hosts one of the largest amusement parks, potentially largest amusement parks. Saudi Arabia just signed an MOU with Red Flags. Anybody who's a fan of amusement parks would know definitely Red Flags. And also, in the coming 2 years, we will be concluding the largest metro development in the region, which is the Riyadh Metro, that covers 176 kilometers and worth more than 23 billion US dollars. Sorry. All of that contributed positively in the very early years of the Vision 2030 execution in doubling FDI in Saudi Arabia. So we've grown to 3.5 billion US dollars worth of FDI, doubling from the previous year in just 1 year. Let's have a deep dive on logistics. So just going back to the third strategic pillar of our vision, leveraging our geographical location, we're looking at 10% of global trade passing through the Red Sea. Within 5 hours of flight, you can reach almost half of the world's population. 3-hour flight, more than 300 million potential consumers. All of that is great potential that can be leveraged and utilized for the benefit of the world. Saudi Arabia has historically been a very important player in import-export. We're one of the largest countries in the world that imports and exports. We're also ranked 39th out of 140 countries in the World Economic Forum Global Competitiveness Report. Last week, the World Bank issued a teaser about the ease of doing business, naming Saudi Arabia as one of the top 10 countries that has improved over 1 year since the previous report. We've improved in 9 dimensions, one of which is logistics. Last point is facilitating import and export, Saudi customs, and we're going to talk about that in further detail later in the presentation. Also within Saudi Arabia, we've created a national logistics committee that is headed by the Minister of Transport that involves and includes all of the government entities that are in charge or have relationship with logistics. And we also created an advisory group from the private sector that we consult and we work with in order to ensure that we're not far away from their aspirations as well. 3 main goals of the transformation: have Saudi Arabia as an export platform. Second point is create Saudi Arabia in a regional logistics hub. Last but not least is enable a great supply chain system in Saudi Arabia that helps and supports the previous 2 objectives. Some of the ongoing ambitions and projects, just to give you a sense of what's going on in Saudi Arabia. We've announced a logistics zone in King Khalid International Airport, which is in the middle, in the capital of Saudi Arabia. We also launched already a logistics zone in King Fahad International Airport, which is in the eastern province of Saudi Arabia. We also, before end of October, will be opening the new port land border with Iraq. And just imagine the potential trade that can take place between Saudi Arabia and Iraq and the whole region. And this has been closed since the Iraqi invasion to Kuwait 30 odd years ago. Also, we're upgrading our facilities. We just opened a new port or revamped a port with Kuwait. And we also, last week, His Majesty King Salman opened the largest international airport of Saudi Arabia in Jeddah, which will also act as a logistics zone for the region. From a sector quality perspective, we're also working on special economic zones. The regulation is in process. We expect that the regulation will be announced within the coming 6 months. Also, liberalization of the postal sector. So historically, the government-owned postal company used to be the regulator as well. Now it's separate. We have segregation of duties that will allow for future investment in the postal sector. Also privatization, and this is, here's a typo, it's not 30,000 square meters, it's actually 30 square kilometers. So it's a mega investment that will be open to the private sector. We already have interest from the private sector to build completely this area. This area is the new border point with Iraq as well. So the border itself will be open before end of October, and this is a new logistics area, logistics development next and adjacent to the border. We also signed the tier agreement. I'm sure that most of you are aware and know what the tier is. We've signed it. We're targeting before end of October as well. We'll be having the first tier shipment from Jordan to UAE to the Emirates via Saudi Arabia. Also, the General Transportation Authority has developed a lot of technology platforms that allow for better visibility for potential investors in the trucking industry and the logistics by implementing multiple systems that allow for the facilitation of truck movement across cities and within cities. Several achievements that took place as well. The Saudi Port Authority actually 3 days ago announced the launch of a truck appointment system that will allow for the facilitation of truck movement in and out of one of the largest ports. This will allow for better productivity of trucking companies and logistics players. Just to give you an example, one truck used to take several hours just to clear, just to go and wait for the container to be ready and leave. Now it takes less than 20 minutes for the round trip. That means better productivity for trucking, better productivity for logistics players. The General Transportation Authority also announced a lot of regulation around trucks to overhaul the transportation sector in Saudi Arabia and allow for future investment and better investment in that sector as well. The General Aviation Authority announced several privatization initiatives for several airports that will allow for future development of logistics zones around airports. The Saudi Arabian Railway Company, and I think this is one of the major game changers for the whole region, is the land bridge. Saudi Arabia currently connects the eastern province with the central capital via rail, but we lack connectivity, rail connectivity from the capital to the western province. So just imagine Saudi Arabia, you have a railroad from the Arabian Gulf to the Red Sea. They are evaluating current proposals as we speak. This will be a mega project that will be truly transformational. Saudi Customs, we've done a lot in the past 2 years, and I'm going to go in further detail about Saudi Customs, and that's my personal comfort zone. So Saudi Customs has been in existence even before the reunification of Saudi Arabia 89 years ago. We operate in 35 ports, land, air, and sea, 10,000 employees, and we process more than 3 million customs declaration per year. So we mentioned, or I mentioned several slides ago about the tier, and before the end of October, we foresee that we will have the first shipment. We're working with our colleagues, our trucking companies, and also our colleagues in Jordan Customs and UAE Customs to allow for the first tier movement. Also, 2 years ago, we had 0 submissions of customs declarations. Now we're 100% in just 2 years. This allowed for reducing the customs processing and clearance time by a considerable amount. It used to take 8 days to clear goods from Saudi Customs. Now, 80% of those who submit prior to arrival are cleared in less than 24 hours. We're still very ambitious, and we see this number going down every month. We also launched our national single window last year in April 2018 that hosts 135 electronic services that enables importers and exporters and logistics players to interact with government via electronic means and a single window. We also, with the announcement of the new regulations of bonded zones, we allowed companies not registered in Saudi Arabia to leverage bonded zones and use bonded zones for their transshipment without necessarily being required to gain a commercial registration. We also updated our bylaws. Historically, custom brokers were limited to individuals. Now we expanded that. We allowed it for companies. We also allowed foreign investment companies to gain custom brokerage license. We also reduced the number of documentation required from 12 for imports and 9 for exports down to 2 for both imports and exports. And this all can be submitted electronically as well. We also established a targeting center. The targeting center allowed us to minimize manual inspection, and we're still eager to invest more in the targeting center to allow us to meet our regional and international benchmarks. As I mentioned before, all of that contribute positively to economic activity. We see a lot of investment coming into Saudi Arabia. We also announced bonded zones and bonded warehouses regulation last year, and we see a lot of companies interested in this. We also have some of our bonded zone operators in the crowd today. I see them in the crowd. And we also announced the Authorized Economic Operator Program, which is a World's Customs Organization program that gives priority treatment for low-risk importers and exporters. Until this morning, we've signed up 101 companies, and we look forward to expand to 150 companies before the end of 2019. We also signed a mutual recognition agreement. This allows for companies enrolled in the program in Saudi Arabia to get preferential treatment as well in partner countries. So we signed the first one with the UAE, United Arab Emirates, and we foresee the Kingdom of Bahrain us signing together before the end of the year, and 3 additional countries in the first half of 2020. We, as I mentioned before, the truck appointment system just announced several days ago in King Abdulaziz Port in the Eastern Province will be rolled out to all of the congested ports within 2020. We also were the first customs authority to use blockchain and engage in TradeLens platform, which is an IBM Maersk Line platform. We've managed to help our largest petrochemical company, SABIC, to export and use blockchain to communicate and send secure data to our counterparts in the Netherlands. So it was a great exercise. We learned a lot from this exercise, and we see a lot of potential in leveraging blockchain. There's also part of the transformation in Saudi customs. We're changing minds. We're changing the mindset of our people. We're looking at our stakeholders as customers. Historically, we've seen them as just players that are important in the region, in Saudi Arabia, but without this customer sense, without this customer interest. So this is a major transformation in Saudi customs. Some resistance here and there, but we're very eager to push through this change in mindset. We've established a 24/7 call center. We respond to our customers in a great manner and timely fashion. Last part of my presentation is about how we can work together. Without great partners, nothing of this transformation would be achievable. I think the way I see it, we have two groups of freight forwarders in the room and logistics players. Those who operate in Saudi Arabia, but they lack the service offering that they offer their own customers in other countries. And I think this is a great potential, great opportunity for them to expand their service offering. Second point, for those who do not operate in Saudi Arabia, this is a great chance for you to obtain a license. We are on the verge of transformation. We see the initial numbers. We see the movement. A lot of companies have showed interest. We want people to get licenses. The logistics scene in Saudi Arabia is very fragmented. Without professional companies who will help us elevate the service offering and the service availability and service levels in Saudi Arabia, we won't be able to achieve. I urge everybody who's interested to visit our booth in the exhibition hall and also to contact us via social media, via email. My staff and I will be available in the coming 2 days as well. Please talk to us. Let us know your issues. Of course, not your personal issues. We're talking about logistics-related only issues. So please talk to us, because I'm going to take it on my shoulders. It's my responsibility to make things happen for you. Thank you so much, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak today. I hope and wish you all success. Thank you so much.